Hey, what's up with it, y'all? It's the world's freshest, aka DJ Fresh, DJ Fresh, DJ Fresh, chilling with Thizzler. Make sure you subscribe below. Me and STALIN got I got the most albums with STALIN. We got, I think we got 12.
That's a lot of albums.
We got, we got 12 albums. We got more albums than years we known each other. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, like we always just hungry, you know, STALIN, Lil Blood, Shady, Phil, Jonah, Kiwi, to be all of them, Stevie Joe, Lil Rue, HD at the time, they was still in it. And it was just right time, right place. Like I had a lab at the Hyro Lab. I think one of Thizzler's first interviews was with me at the Hyro Lab, matter of fact. Yeah. And yeah, it was just like everybody had to come through the studio I was working at the time. Everybody had to come through. So, you know, you get a bunch of hungry niggas that can rap, you know what I'm saying, and a hungry producer who wanna, you know what I'm saying, put product out and shit. It's just gonna come together, you know what I mean? Like a Just Blaze and Rockefeller situation or something, you know what I mean? Or RZA and Wu-Tang, like, you know, or even how Mustard did. It's always gonna be that like element of like, there's a producer pushing hard and a bunch of hungry artists, they're gonna gravitate, they're gonna find, the universe is gonna bring them together. You know what I'm saying? So we just was pumping them out, and it was like, the Livewire was like something, like it was 9, 10 dope rappers who was pushing a hard line. They was on some gangster shit, but they were very creative in how they did it. You know what I mean? Like they were like marketable in how they did it. It was like, you know, they was like how ASAP and ASAP Ferg and all them niggas was, but out here, our version. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and the way STALIN had branded it, you know, like STALIN's real good at branding. You know, he's like, now he's got barbershops, and I think he's opening an audio company or some shit, you know what I mean? So, yeah, so, but yeah, them times right there, yeah, we was grinding for sure. Because he's the only one that can really keep up with me as far as like my work ethic. And I'm probably the only one that can keep up with him because he has a high work ethic too. And so it's just, you know, like the beats that I was making, like he was always like, man, let me get that, let me get that. And we just work good together. And you know, like I don't be trying to be making hella shit. It just happened like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, we got all this shit done. So we just got that relationship, that chemistry like that, where we can get in the lab and make some abracadabra quick. You know what I'm saying? So 12 albums later. Because Freddie's manager is from the Bay Area. His name's Lambo. Lambo's from out here, and at the time, Freddie, this is when XXL. This is when XXL used to. They weren't just putting mumble rappers on their covers at the time, I would say. No shot to mumble rappers. I'm just saying, like, this is like around the time when they were still just putting, like, I would say real rap music. Because that year they had Wiz on there, I think. They had Freddie on there. They had Currency on there. They had some heavy hitters. I think Nipsey was on there. Yeah. They had Nipsey. J. Cole was on there. So they had like, you know what I'm saying? They had some rappers on there and shit. Because at the time, his manager was from Sacramento at the time, you know? And he had reached out to me to do some shows, matter of fact. You remember that time? You remember when Raekwon and Joe Budden was going at it? There was a time when Raekwon and Joe Budden, them niggas was going at it. And them niggas went in this trailer and slapped him. Remember, what was the name of that one app? And people could look at you like live, like you know how people do live now, but it was back then though. No, before that. Ustream. They slapped them on Ustream, and I was actually there when that happened. Yeah. It was in LA. This is around when what's that group that they got? It's Crooked Eye and Slaughterhouse. Yeah. This is when Slaughterhouse kind of was like first forming. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And we were in one trailer and he was in another trailer. Yeah, and that shit happened. But how I hooked up with him was through his manager though. Raekwon needed a DJ at the time. And yeah, they hit me up and then we met up. It didn't last that long. We only did about maybe two, 3 shows. But we did a Tonight show too. It mostly was the songs that was already done that he had, and he did like a couple of my beats. The project only had like 6 or 7 songs. But, you know, it was still under the name The Tonight Show or whatever, you know what I mean? So. TRAE the Truth, now we really did some of that together. He came out here, and Ghazi from Empire was like, Fresh, I got TRAE the Truth out here. You might want to try to do something with him, you know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. I knew who he was, Texas legend. So I went up there, and then same spill, we met. He heard some of my beats or whatever, and instantly he was like, man, this shit is tight, this shit is dope. And then we just put that shit together. So yeah, around that time, that's kind of when people from different regions was like starting to pay attention to me a little bit more. When I did those two, because I dropped them kind of like back to back. I did Freddie, and then shortly after I did TRAE. Oh, of course, yeah. Like, so STALIN and BEEDA, that was my first group Tonight show. It's the only group Tonight show I have right now at the moment. But yeah, because BEEDA, like the lab I was telling you about, BEEDA's from a crew called PTB, Pushing the Beats. They from the Dubs. And so they had part of the studio that were at the Hyro lab. So it was Hyro and it was PTB. And yeah, they opened the doors for us to work in there, you know what I'm saying? At one point I was living there, you know what I'm saying? Like just always just working, you know what I'm saying? Just always working, all work, just no games, just work, you know what I'm saying? And so yeah, we had made the BEEDA and STALIN Tonight show. We had got paid not even that much, like $6,000. What I got is like $6,000 from City Hall at that time. But we was just so juiced to like, you know what I'm saying? Like that was a lot of money to us. Like we ain't never had no motherfucking $6,000 or two bands each. Was like, I think I bought a scraper with that fucking 2 bands. You know what I'm saying? A dope one too. And so it was like, yeah, we doing rap business. We was happy to be doing rap business. You know what I mean? The whole Shebang was a production crew that I had formed when I had the idea of like the Beat Miners or Beats by the Pound or like just a bunch of producers together. And again, branding, I'm always thinking about branding. I'm like, I was trying to treat that shit like how Wu-Tang was, but just in the production, as far as production, like a whole bunch of producers could put out their projects and the name can be bigger and last longer in the long run if we build up the brand. So it was projects where I did all the beats and I still was produced by DJ Fresh and the whole Shebang because I just was like on the brand. I'm thinking about the brand at the time. The brand could be bigger if we just do it like that. I remember Q-Tip said something like that. Q-Tip on all those first Tribe Called Quest albums, he made all the beats, all of them, but he always put produced by Tribe Called Quest because he was trying to make the name be bigger than the individual. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's how the whole Shebang came about, you know. And yeah, we was rocking. We was rocking hard though. We was like in-house. We had photographers. We had graphic designers. Tara was a graphic designer. Made Slabs rap. We had Gully. Gully was our lyricist. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Young Gully. Jamon Drew. He was the engineer and he made Slaps. We had Face the Music. He made Slaps and he was our shooter. Not with a camera, I mean like a shooter. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly at the time. And we all just like formed together like Voltron, you know what I'm saying? And we just was all just pushing, you know, just pushing. Cause he had that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like he still has it. But at the time it was like, I met him with Jamon Drew. He used to be down with a group called Ticket Face. That was Jamon Drew, his like label, imprint, whatever. And yeah, he just played me some of his shit, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, this shit is crazy. This shit is dope, hella lyrical, you know what I mean? Like all gas, just straight bars. And yeah, him too. Like I gave him some beats. Every time I gave him some beats, and then he would send it back to me, and I would hear it, and I would just be like amazed at like, damn, this shit sound hella good. Like he complimented the beat so well, you know what I'm saying? It was like, it's like that dude. The way he puts his words together it's just incredible. You know what I'm saying? Like we kind of take shit like that for granted now because there's so many rappers out. You know what I'm saying? Like the dopest rapper, people be like, oh, it's cool, but it's fucking incredible. Like I feel like when you make something look easy, you're doing it extremely well to make something that's hard look so easy. And he's one of them artists, like he's just effortlessly just gassing, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I heard about him, and then, you know, we just started building. Oh yeah, for sure, man, yep, D-Lo. See, that was when D-Lo came around, yeah, that was a trip. But most people don't know that the NoHo song first came out on the TONITE show. It only exists on there if I'm not mistaken. But he came with NoHo done already and shit. I think Royce on the beat touched on that one. And you know, we just touched it up, you know what I'm saying? Touched it up between Hyro. I feel like Ghazi might have mixed that song too, now I think about it. Yeah, Ghazi used to do beats and engineer, all the shit. Yeah, like he's really from the soil, for sure, Frisco. But anyways, yeah, we did the TONITE show. When I did that, like, I feel like I had like a new life because that's when like, that was kind of like post-hyphy movement at the time. And but it was kind of with the jerk, like LA had came up with the jerk sound, which is really kind of the bass sound, but it's called jerking, which is cool though, you know what I'm saying? No shout out LA. But yeah, he had like him and Sleepy and them, they had shit on fucking fire. That NoHo song was like, that shit was on fire, man. I mean, it's still on fire. It's for sure a Bay Area anthem, classic hit. But I mean, when you throw that song on now, like everybody gonna stomp when it first come on, like don't, right? But yeah, D-Lo, he was just hella talented. I mean, he's still talented, but like, he just was ready. He was young. I think he probably only had about 5 raps. I was pushing him like, bro, come on, we gotta finish. Like, come on, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta finish it. Cause that's how rap is. Rap is a very jealous talent, you know what I mean? That bitch will leave you. She'll leave you, you don't get on her. You gotta get on her and you gotta like, you know, you gotta fuck with her. If you don't fuck with her, she gonna fuck with another nigga, cause all these niggas want her. You know what I'm saying? That was another one, like, when that shit dropped, it gave me the same feeling as when D-Lo's dropped. You know what I'm saying? Because his energy is like, it's that post-hyphy, but he funky though, you know what I mean? And he just got a good ass, like he's a star. Like when you're around him, you're around a star. His energy is just like, he got that spark to him. When you're around him, you know what I mean? You see him on stage, I dare you to see him on stage and not be smiling, he gonna make you get into it because his energy is just so pure, and like you feel it when you watch him, and it transcends into the music too. You know what I'm saying? And EZALE don't do a lot of shit. He don't put out that much music, you know what I mean? So, but he was like, Fresh, we gotta do one, man. Like he was one of the first persons to start calling me a legend. And like, I'm still taken back by that. I kind of accept it now, but that's just to humble me, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still in the game, you know what I mean? But see, this is what you gotta know though when you're a legend. When they start calling you a legend, you gotta work twice as harder. Don't think you can just sit up because you're a legend. Oh, now you gotta work twice as harder. You know what I mean? Because you're a legend now. You feel me? Which is cool, I'm up for the job, but I'm just saying, like, you know, you gotta work harder and smarter. But yeah, EZALE, like, yeah, he reasserts me too with the youngsters. You know what I mean? I think he was like 19 or something when that shit dropped. A kid, you know what I mean? Shout out EZALE. Man, EZALE, if you hear this, man, we need another one, man. We need another project. Because one of the living legends, his name is Picasso, he used to teach at the Black Panthers building, right, in the East. And I used to teach there too. And, you know, we worked together for like 2-3 years. And then I think Rock the Bells, remember Rock the Bells? They, Rock the Bells is like a festival tour. It's kind of like what Rolling Loud is today, but then, just in case y'all don't know. But they had the Living Legends on the bill. It was like Rage Against the Machine, Living Legends, MF Doom. It was hella motherfuckers, man. But they needed a DJ, and at the time, the DJ they had, I think he had moved to New York or some shit. And then so I filled in for it. And we just started building from there. We just started building from there and shit. And after we got out that tour, GROUCH had a couple shows like in Portland or something, and he hit me up. He was like, can you do them, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then we've just been rocking ever since. Yeah, that was also like 10 years ago, about 10 years ago. Yeah, that whole idea came from me and Amp Live. Like, so Amp Live is part of a group called Zion I, right? And it was GROUCH, Eli, and Zion I. We all went on tour together, but we used to have a part of a segment in the show where me and Amp Live would kind of like, I wouldn't say battle each other, but you know, he would do his showcase as a DJ producer. I would do mine as a DJ producer. But he used to come out to the front of the crowd with like a keytar. So he'd have his MPC in here, and like it looked like a guitar, and he'd be, you know what I'm saying, doing his shit in front of the crowd, you know what I mean? And then it'd be my turn, and then I would do my thing, but I would just kind of be behind the turntables. So I was like, I'm tired of this nigga coming out to the fucking crowd like that, doing that shit, and they think that shit hella tight. It is hella tight, but it's perception though. Cause what I was doing was just as tight too, but it's because I'm behind, they can't really see, they can't really fully interact with what I was doing. So that was my initial like idea to like, I need something to like be able to interact with the crowd more. And at the time I was already doing a mixtape called BOOMIN System, and it was just dedicated to like all like 808 slaps and shit. And it just came together. I was like, I need to make me a fucking boombox I can put a drum machine in and like walk out on stage with it. And then 3 years later, I had the first one built. Shit was heavier than a motherfucker. It was breaking my back. And yeah, you know, just like anything, you get better as you keep making them, you know what I'm saying?